This horse shit.
As Indigenous peoples, we hold the key to the secret of the survival of the planet and humanity. As a Pacific woman, I cannot stand in the belly of the colonial beast of France and not think of my brothers and sisters in Tahiti who are still colonised by the French, in the Wallis Islands, and our brothers in Kanaki. I never forget the nuclear testing that France did in the Pacific. Decolonisation is unfinished business, but it's the colonisation of carbon which brings us all together today. We in the Pacific are suffering the frontline impacts. We have contributed the least to global warming, the absolute least. We are paying the price for the West at 200 years of industrialisation and a carbon-based economy. Only hope I have for our future is the solidarity that we build with the other defenders of Mother Earth, and maybe you can learn from us and join us and start defending our Mother Earth, because it is the survival not only of Indigenous people but all of us that is at stake. Thank you so much for coming out today. The state of emergency is the climate crisis, and I applaud your bravery for assembling here and defying the fascist laws that have been brought under terrorism that have been used to repress the climate movement. Fight for Mother Earth! Fight for Mother Earth! Fight for Mother Earth! Fight for Mother Earth! Fight for Mother Earth!
Move nature from a property-based legal system into one in which nature laws, rights of nature, Mother Earth herself, the mountains, the rivers, the trees, the forests, the web of life, the atmosphere itself has rights, and they need to be equal to human rights. So, some of you might be aware of the meeting that was held in Cochabamba in 2010. And at that meeting, it was called by Evo Morales. It was the People's Conference on Climate Change and the Rights of Mother Earth. And at that time, there was a big assembly. And at that time, together was crafted and drafted the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth. And we see this really as a companion piece to the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Humans, and understanding that we really have to have human rights and nature rights together to have a sustainable planet and a future for all of humanity and Mother Earth and all species. However, there's been a lot of challenge in the implementation of rights of nature, because it really challenges corporate law, it really challenges what governments want to do with their resources. So it's not been easy, even though we've seen rights of nature in the Constitution in Ecuador. There's also, and I'm sure Pablo can say more, there are rights of nature laws in Bolivia. So even though at this top-down level we see rights of nature being put into national law, it doesn't mean it's being implemented. At the other end of the spectrum, in the United States, local ordinances have been written in communities to put forth local ordinances demanding rights of nature in communities to provide them with a way to basically trump corporate law and state law to say, no, we want to protect our community. So as an example, a recent case that we are very excited about. Me being in California, there's a county called Mendocino, and the entire county at their local level put rights of nature ordinances through their local government to say that no fracking could happen in their community, and that now is a standing position that community has. So we've seen over 124 cases in the United States using community rights and rights of nature laws for communities to stand up and say, we have the right to protect our ecosystem. We have the right to say no to the harms in our communities. So as I say, there's sort of at the larger national level and then at the local ordinance level, people working with this new idea that nature has rights to be healthy, to thrive, to continue to be integrous as its own in a way that supports the ecosystem. I think the other component that is important to say is that, even though this is a new form of jurisprudence for modern day cultures in Western society, a lot of these ideas are rooted in indigenous people's worldviews. This idea that we do not have dominion over nature, that it isn't right for humans to have the concept of treating nature as a slave. Just in the same way that it is wrong to have man have rights over women, or humans seeing other races as unequal, we don't have the right to view nature in this way. And this idea that we are connected on an equal basis with all of the cosmos and need to respect Mother Earth is at the heart of this new way of viewing the Earth. And I will also say, I think an important concept that goes with rights of nature coming out of indigenous peoples of the Global South and Global South movements is the idea of buen vivir, or sumak kausai, which is a larger understanding of what is our relationship to each other, what is our relationship to the community of Earth, and how do we live in harmony with Mother Earth, from very ancient understandings of indigenous peoples of how we can live in a better way with the rivers and the mountains and the forests and the trees and all of life, all of creation. And I think it's really important to bring in this idea of sumak kausai because it opens up the idea of how do we have a different idea about progress instead of the Western idea of living more versus living well, and how do we really open up a conversation about respecting the natural laws, living well in the community of the Earth, and looking at a larger cosmovision of not seeing our progress or our way of being on Earth as over-consuming, satisfying ourselves more and more with consumer goods because of this devoid we really have of feeling our connection to nature. And I think this is an important component, and in fact when Ecuador put rights of nature into their constitution, hand in hand, they also included this concept of sumak kausai or buen vivir, because it's so central to understanding that, yes, it's a legal framework we need to change in terms of not seeing nature as property, but it's also a cultural change in our worldview of not having dominion over nature, but living in harmony with nature. So it's a legal framework, but it's also a cultural and, if you will, a spiritual transformation of understanding how we need to move forward in a new and better way. And it's a rejection of these false solutions of seeing the commodification and financialization of nature, which is what we're seeing at COP21 in the Paris Agreement that's being formulated, is that, again, it's more of these market mechanisms, putting nature into the marketplace, which we are very much against. Our Mother Earth is not for sale. And it really transforms this idea that carbon offsets, carbon trading are a way that we can resolve the problems that we're having, as if they can resolve the climate crisis. We're saying, no, we don't want the commodification and financialization of nature. We do not want to have that be the solution to the climate crisis. So that was the foundation for the tribunal. I feel like I've said a lot, and I would love for Pablo or Samantha to jump in and maybe talk any about anything you'd like, or perhaps about the tribunal. So my name is Ausbeutung Lake, and I'm with the Women's Earth and Climate Action Network, but I also work with the Global Alliance for Rights of Nature. And we just finished a tribunal here in Paris on December 4th and 5th. And we're really bringing forward this idea that instead of viewing nature as property, that nature needs rights, that nature has inherent rights. Our rivers, our mountains, our forests, the very web of life, the atmosphere, has the right to exist and thrive in a healthy manner. And we really need to change our relationship with Mother Earth. And so this whole idea of a new Earth jurisprudence, or a way and philosophy of looking at law, says that we need to be understanding that we're part and particle of nature, and our legal frameworks need to change so that we can go into a court of law and fight for our rivers, our forests, our mountains, for our atmosphere, and be able to have nature be recognized in a court of law. And in fact, in 2008, Ecuador became the first country in the world to put rights of nature into their constitution. And in the United States, we have now people advocating and creating local ordinances in their communities saying we have the right to protect our local community from harms. So it's a new idea, but it's also grounded in real cases that have been won. There's a lot of challenge around the implementation, but it is definitely one of the most exciting kinds of work that I see happening, because we're not seeing at COP21, certainly in the climate agreement as it is now, a way for nature to really be respected and the natural laws to be respected. And we really need to stop the commodification and financialization of nature and these market schemes that are coming out of the climate agreement.
So in future, you want that Mother Earth will get a lawyer?
Yes, you could put it that way, that we are, we need to see that Mother Earth needs to be defended and protected, and we need to have a new relationship with nature. And law is certainly not the only way, but it's the system we have now. We need to change our governance structures so that Mother Earth can be protected.
And when a company pollutes the environment, what happens then when your idea comes through?
What would happen is that they would be seen as a company that's violating Mother Earth's rights, and that would become illegal. And they would have to stop those practices that are harming the ability of nature to thrive, survive, and evolve in its own natural way.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.